Mm. Good morning, Bryn. Well, I can't hear you. Hello?
Sorry, I was muted.
It's all good. How you doing?
Good, bro. I haven't been on Zoom in a long time. I just graduated college 2020, so it's been a
Congrats.
minute.
Congrats.
Thank you, thank you.
What did you graduate in?
So I went to the University of Southern California. I studied film. So yeah, just graduated.
Fire. And so what's your plan now? Just graduated, you ready to get into the real world and
Man, I've been in it. I've been in it.
I know,
Just working on 1025, really.
absolutely. So okay, let's just start this. Can you introduce yourself? So, I know your
Yeah,
name.
of course. Right. All right. So, what's good, everybody? My name is Bryn McIntosh, and I'm the CEO and designer of streetwear brand 1025, aka on 1025.
Wonderful.
That's it.
And when did you start this brand?
I started July 2019. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it's
I
been
was in Brooklyn,
making
New York.
fire. Okay, so you were in New York though, you said?
Yeah, yeah. It's my brand is very interesting because I feel like three pivotal moments happened in different cities.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, Brooklyn, New York was where I made the very first T-shirt. So I mentioned I graduated from the University of Southern California out in LA. So I was doing a film-based internship in Brooklyn, and my sister lives there. So I was staying with her in Manhattan, and I found this like sort of market where all these vendors were selling stuff, and a guy sold graphic T-shirts. And he had the option where you could do a custom one, like email him a picture, and he'd print it out right then and there. And I went with my brother. It was his idea. He told me like we should put my bear on the shirt. So that's when I like first started just actioning the brand and becoming more serious about it. Yeah, there's a cool story to that too. But yeah, that's where I guess you could say it started, and then the rest carried out in LA. And now back home, I'm from Maryland.
Oh wow, interesting. Wait,
Yeah, DC.
what's the cool story though? I'm interested.
Yeah, it was great. So I mean, I told the bulk of it. I was at this Broadway market, and I took my younger brother with me. And before this, I had shown him the bear, and he didn't think much of it. He kind of looked at it and was like, "Oh yeah, like that's tough," and we just didn't say another word about it. So I came. So we're at this store now, and he says, "Bren, like we should put your bear on the shirt." So I didn't have the shirt on me. I mean, I didn't have the design on me. I remember we had to go back to my sister's place, and we decided to go back to the store that day. Like we were that determined to get this shirt. They were closing. They were closing up to like their closing hours. And but we just didn't care. Like we got lunch. We went back to my sister's place. We put the design back. We got on my phone. We went back to the place, and I told this guy like, hey, like I got a design for you. And it was what makes the story really special was that this was the very first time I had gone public with the design, because I had made an attempt in the past, but I failed just because I was just too afraid of judgment. So I never made it known that I wanted to start a brand. So this was like a huge moment for me. And I just remember this couple came up to us as the guys printing out the shirt, and just seeing the bear like just manifested in just physical form was just really special. And I just cutting it out, people are starting to walk and look at it like, yo, like what is that? Because it's a very distinct bear. Um, and this couple comes up to us, and the husband of the couple is like, yo, like whose design is this? And it was the first time I was just saying that it was mine. I was like, this is no, like I did this is me. And it just felt really good to say that. And I just remember he saw the way I was looking at it. He was like, this is your first time making it? And I was like, yeah, like it's my first time. Like, And he just looked at me and he said, "This is gonna go so far. Like, I'm so excited for you."
Wow.
This is a complete stranger, and it was just really, I got goosebumps. It was just special, and
Well, I
just
kind
coming
of,
home that day. Yeah, just coming home that day, man. Like, I got one, of course, for my brother too. So there was just these two shirts in existence, and it's just special, man. I still
and
have it to this day.
the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history.
And
Exactly.
so, how'd you come up with this design, the bear and the flames?
Yeah, yeah. So, well, the bear and the flame, that's just like just from my recent drop, but like the logo of the bear, yeah, it just all came from identity, really. Um, like what's part of that story was I was coming home from college in May, and I was just I was thinking as a film student, really, like when you're creating a story, it's best to just go fully intrinsic and think about what means something to you, and just by nature the rest will follow.
Hmm.
So I just started thinking about my identity, and so my nickname growing up was Brinny Bear. um, and I have a bunch of teddy bears in my room. So I'm on Illustrator, and I just see the teddy bears, and my birthday October 25th, like the brand is after my birthday. um, it's close to Halloween, so I just thought it was perfect to do a ghost bear. So I just literally looked up like ghost bear, Halloween bear. So that's just like the basis of it. Yeah, and you'll see like there's my initials like on the stomach of the bear, like at the logo,
Hmm.
and then I have 1025 down the left arm of the bear. So it was just everything I was just pulling from what meant something to me. Like obviously my birthday means a lot, like that marks my existence, and my name. And there's just like smaller details too. Like there's a scar like underneath the eye. Like that's very significant. Like for the anime fans out there, there's this anime called One Piece. My favorite. It's my favorite anime of all time. The
Amazing.
character Luffy. Yeah, the scar he has under his eye. Like,
I'm at episode like 185, and I'm about to shoot myself.
oh my, bro, I'm caught up. It's so good. It's a journey. But yeah, just like his, if you know him, so his winning spirit, like his confidence in
Oh,
himself,
it's just
like
incredible.
I really wanted to embody that, like really wanted to become that. So I feel like part of my confidence gain, like just came from watching this kid, this character make his way to being the king of pirates.
What
So
episode are
for
you
the,
at? Did you read the mangas and stuff?
no, no, not the mangas. I'm just caught up. Like I'm in like
Oh,
the,
you're
I
like at the
think we're in
top.
the,
You're like,
yeah,
oh wow,
yeah,
wow, impressive.
caught up. I mean, I'm like maybe like 10 episodes behind or something, but I
That's not
consider
bad.
that caught up.
That's caught up.
Yeah.
Not like 1,000
Yeah,
episodes.
that's caught up like by One Piece standards, most definitely.
Absolutely. But I, speaking about Luffy's character, like I completely agree with you. Like that guy really, it's impressive. Like he's got that like life of living and doesn't give a fuck about anything. Like you'll never lose. Like just because of that spirit, you know. Like
Yeah, exactly. So had to bring that energy into the bear for real.
that's really cool. And so what? So this bear, why did you study movies? Like what was the passion behind that when you went into school for that?
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great question. So as young as 6, I've been telling just the world that I wanted to be an animator. Um, I grew up drawing. Like every day I draw. Like got to the point my mom already told me I need to go out more. But just as a kid though, like it wasn't anything. Like just middle school, elementary school. Like I would just sit in my room. I'd buy posters and just sit in my room and just draw. So I've had this love for drawing for as long as I can remember. And as a kid too, you love cartoons naturally. So I just remember one day and it was like third grade, somebody said how much money someone makes off of like SpongeBob, the animators. And I was like, whoa, like you make money for this? Like this is so fun. This is so entertaining. Like this is the best thing ever. Like I'm doing this. So from that day, I just said I'm gonna be an animator. And so naturally, yeah, like I started exposing myself to, other genres of film. Like I wouldn't say I'm like a film head where I've watched every single movie under the sun, like people expect you to,
Hmm.
like when you say that you go to USC's film school. Um,
That's very
but
true.
it just wasn't like that. Like I think there was just more admiration for the art, especially animation. Um, but going on, I started learning more about just other movies, directors, and just the process as a whole, and just opening myself up to like different media platforms because my major was called Media Arts and Practice. It was a new major I was taking a chance on, really. So I didn't take the traditional route of being the production major. So this major really exposed me to literally all types of media, like web design, game design, like documentary making, graphic design, animation, like you name it.
So you got some stuff on interviews. You got some tips to tell me?
Man, like just be a sponge. Like that's all I could say. Like YouTube was like my best friend.
You're right.
If I didn't understand anything in class, like for real, you can learn so much off of YouTube.
No, you can pretty much get any type of degree 4 times
Like
around.
all education, yeah, for real.
No joke. Um, we're exposing the educational system out here. We're gonna.
I know. But college is still great though. Like I met very dope people
Yeah.
that helped me out to this day, and also just I'm friends with to this day.
So it's the experience. I think that's what really college.
Yeah,
is.
exactly. I feel
Experience.
yeah, exactly.
But so if I've always thought about, I'm like, for people that can't afford it, or like or they have to
Yeah,
put themselves in positions of debt to go to college, like
yeah,
that's where the challenge really starts in that regards about education.
yeah, most
So
definitely.
that's the beauty of it, is that even without it, you can genuinely do whatever you want to by going on YouTube and research.
Yeah, and also you can still connect with people like just
Absolutely.
through 1025 alone. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
sure, like they're internet friends, but at some point I plan on traveling and ideally meeting, at least a good portion of these dope people that I've met.
And so you've been running this page for like two years, and has it been like a thing where like you're gonna do this full, like you want, because you said you want to make animation. How does this fit into your path, into like your creative path?
Right. So I didn't mention that the animation passion, like it kind of fizzled because once I got to school and I actually started taking animation classes, I was like, whoa, like something I just kind of discovered just throughout school was that I really loved being a director. Like just sort of having the vision. I really fell in love with screenwriting too, which actually played a huge part in my brand, just like the way I just configure ideas and tell like make stories out of the t-shirts. But yeah, I kind of ditched the actual animation path, but I would love to direct an animated film one day. Like, and I feel like maybe even with the 1025 characters, because
Exactly.
1025 is insanely character driven. So I feel like having that unique background as a film student, and it just really amplifies the storytelling for me in 1025. So yeah, I do plan on going just full throttle with 1025 because I don't know, I love being my own boss. Like I love just doing what I love, and I do feel like at some point I'll integrate the film, maybe even video games too.
And do you live with your art? Does it are you in a point where like it's financially sustainable to like just do that?
Almost. It's like I feel like with every drop I get closer and closer. Yeah, we got the business savings, everything.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're slowly, gradually making the way there.
And so and so your customer base is, and so you think that now this is side of the interview, just for like the auction thing. So because we were talking about it in regards to like the t-shirt being like not extremely like the most
Yeah.
obviously unique thing, but like my and that's what I
Hmm.
was going through. Like I was talking to like whatever, because I'm doing this all by myself, but I always ask for advice or whatnot. And yeah, absolutely. Like if
Yeah,
you
of course.
have fans and people that like love your shit, and which I think the reason why I thought it was cool, because I think the actual brand itself stands out, the logo stands out. It's something that's
Thank
creative but interesting to look at, and it's really cool. So as long as you
Thank you.
have that side of it covered, because I'm at a moment of my life where like it's kind of, the platform doesn't have as much
Yeah.
exactly to kind of generate stuff that you would fall in love with a brand without necessarily knowing it. So as long as you know that this piece will go, that's my only concern, and that's
Oh, okay. But yeah, because I have a lot of faith in you.
me too. So perfect, wonderful. And okay, I mean, so okay, no, I had a list of questions. So you did film school, you got into making these bears, and so you're back in Maryland right now.
Yeah, I'm back in Maryland. I'm at my parents' home, which isn't a problem, honestly. At first, I was kind of pressed to go back to LA, but this is nice. I'm saving money.
Oh,
My
oh,
parents are very supportive.
yeah.
It's yeah, it's incredible. LA will totally just clean your,
Oh,
bank account dry.
wow.
Like if I were to be there right now, like I feel like I'd lose everything.
Absolutely. I'm currently in LA as well. Like I work in
Yeah.
yeah, it's a nightmare. But you're absolutely right. And so now you're just in the works. Do you have any upcoming auctions that or upcoming drops or like new projects? What's the future for the brand?
Dude, I got like the next like 7, maybe even 10 drops lined up.
Oh wow.
Like I'm just yeah, just going in. Like I mean, I graduated school, so there's no other thing to do but this. Like this and just balancing like my personal life too. Yeah, so I have those drops coming up. I'm planning a YouTube channel for 1025.
Nice.
Like I feel like it's time to just take it to the next step. And at the end of the day, like I'm not a business, savvy person. Like obviously, like I feel like I do have some type of natural disability for marketing or whatever, but at the end of the day, like I'm doing this because I love it. And I just know things like numbers, view counts, whatever, that stuff will just naturally flow. So the YouTube channel is really just my way of expressing myself because that's what 1025 is really about, like the freedom of expression in all forms. Because 1025 is recognized as International Artist Day, so that's why the slogan is a call to create. So it's like literally a day that resonates with everybody because I feel like there's artistry and everything. So the YouTube channel is really gonna just totally capitalize on that. Like, or, it's so funny to use that word, but emphasize on it. Like it's really going to emphasize on just creativity and just freedom of expression. So yeah, plan on like, shouting out other brands too, because this is about like just art as a whole and just recognizing other talent artists. So
That,
yeah,
that's
big plans
really
for the YouTube.
that's really
So
dope.
yeah, I'm excited.
I see that you have a poster of Codon. Have you always been
It,
into like custom clothing?
man, I just like thankfully thank goodness for 1025 because I feel like it really started opening my eyes to so many other dope people like myself that are just in streetwear culture. Like yeah, I just found out about Codone like this past like maybe last March or May. So
Nice.
last summer, yeah, last summer I found out about him, and I just feel like just so many doors opened in terms of just awareness, especially for Chicago. Like a
Oh yeah.
lot of dope talent. I know Codone's not from Chicago, but he does have that strong connection.
He's no, I mean he grew his platform crazy. I bought some actual drawings from him in 2017. Like
Oh,
I
that's
sent him $500. Like I was like, bro, let me
uh
send
huh.
you. And he was like, sure, sure. And he sent me like these original drawings that he made, which are completely different because now it's all digital. Like he used to actually
Yeah, yeah.
used to draw them and shit.
Oh, that's
But
it.
that man went from like being like a small creative like animator like to
That's
becoming like
incredible.
the success that he is today. So he's like very very impressive to go through that route. But
Yeah,
it
I
shows.
do.
Yeah, you were saying
Oh, I was gonna say I do have to quickly shout out my friend Megan. This is her design too.
wonderful.
I feel like you gotta
You
shout
have
out
to.
my design.
What goes around comes around.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
so you have the next 10 drops selected. Okay, now we were speaking about your brand, but um so I did this with my previous artist, and I don't know if you saw the interview that I launched today. If you went through it, there was like a moment because like I love these interviews. They're really cool, but I feel like they always tend to be so generic to the extent where like it's kind of introductory. Oh, like it's like me asking questions about your life and how you.
Yeah, I feel you.
But I'm not really tapping into like Bryn's head, which is what I'm interested in and what I want
Yeah, I appreciate
to.
that.
I'm just
That's
going to
awesome.
like I'm just gonna put some questions out there and you just answer them. Like it's kind of like philosophical questions, but you just answer them however you want to. And I'll just cut
All
and
right,
edit to
cool.
make it make sense. Um,
Okay.
so my question is like, okay, and this is like one I'm enjoying it because I've done it 3 times now, and I love the answers each time because they're so different. But why do you think we're here as humans? Like, what do we have to do here? Like, what's your interpretation of that? Why we're here?
Oh man,
Yeah.
amazing question. I feel like I feel like life is truly what you make it. I feel like it might sound like nihilistic or whatever, but I feel like there is no reason. Like I feel like we're just here. And I think of life as connect it back to art. It's like a blank canvas. Like you can do absolutely nothing with that canvas and just let it exist, or you can just do something with it. Like maybe pick up like a piece of charcoal or something. You know, I'm trying to think of natural elements, and do like the simplest form. Do like there is no making a drawing of this. Like I feel like there's just action and inaction. Like so, I feel like life is literally what you make it, and I feel like this concept of reality is just based entirely upon like an individual's experience. Like, yeah,
I
it's
actually really like that answer. I like the idea of like the blank canvas, and like it could just remain a blank canvas if you wanted to, and it could just stay there.
exactly.
You can add color and like add texture and like add shape and like do all these different things to like add value to the canvas itself, you know. So that's
Yeah, there's no right or wrong. There's no yeah left and right. Like it's just
no,
there just
I like
is.
that. Actually, that's a great answer. And in regards to what direction do you think we are going as a society? Like, what do you think about like what's going on right now, or what has been going on? What's your views in general? Like, what we should do, next steps.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it's just one of those things where it's gonna get ugly before it gets better. I don't know if you watched like I just always think about that line from this movie I watched, an Ice Cube movie. Are we done yet? It was like the sequel to Are We There Yet? Anyway, it it's yeah, it really is like when I feel like when we're moving, or I think with progression in general, I think that with any type of progress or growth, like things are gonna get ugly, and you know we may hear things we don't want to hear, but I feel like the fact that conversations are happening is huge change, because I feel like especially with last summer with the whole just civil rights movement we had, like I feel like it was the first time, like especially as a black woman, like I feel like it was the first time like I it felt okay to just talk about race. Like I don't know, I felt like everything just kind of went on a standstill. Like I feel like everybody's kind of stopped and really thought about what was going on. So I feel like in order to, you know, create change, like we have to sit through that discomfort and that, you know, ugliness, and really listen to just people's sides, which I personally have been doing myself, like trying not to judge too, you know, abruptly and like really hear people out, even if it's something I don't agree with. But it's like that's how we get to change. Like, because before nobody was talking to each other, it was just, you know, talking to a wall and just having it shot right back at you. So yeah, I think that's where we're headed now. Like, it just has to get uncomfortable before it, you know, gets better.
I completely agree with you, and I think that conversation is like the beginning of any type of resolution or any type of like advancement.
Yeah, it exactly. It's how we solve everything.
Yeah,
Like
you're absolutely right.
communication.
And I feel like I don't know. I always look back, and like think when I was young or when we were young, it's like people used to say our generation's so different, but like logistically we
Yeah,
kind of are though. Like I feel like
yeah.
there's much more dialogue going on, and like this, you know how you want to shout out your artist friends, or are you still there? Oh, perfect. It was bugging.
Yeah.
For a second.
Yeah, I'm here.
And so we do have that want and that need to kind of, you know, put ourselves in other people's shoes and kind of be there for people. You know, not only it's not this selfishness anymore. Like at least it is for some people, and people will take advantage of it. But like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
there's a shift in just the human itself. Like what does he want and what does he want to do with surroundings? You know.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's really cool. And I don't know how. Anyway, we usually I always have like over 30 minutes. I think we were talking for like at least 25, and I always have to condense these conversations to 15 minutes. So
I
that's
know, I know. I had to hold myself back a little too.
yeah, it's my editorial nightmare. But I always try to what I do essentially is I pretty much cut myself off out of the whole video. I just let you speak, like
Yeah.
except for just little questions. But because that's what works the best, you know, like what we're interested in is the artist.
Yeah.
And so is there anything that you would like to finish this video off and tell your fans, tell your peeps, whatever?
Supporters. To the supporters and just anybody who's watching this in general, like something I'm trying to really promote is just self-belief. Like I feel like if you want to make your dreams happen, it starts with believing yourself truly, because I think of self-belief as fuel. Is as necessary as, putting fuel in your car. And it's, you have to ask yourself, how can I expect myself to move forward if there's no fuel, if there's no belief? So that's why people always tell you, because I used to get really frustrated when I'd go to those little talks like at school. I'm like, I'm looking for strategy and answers, but it really does come from believing in yourself. That's like where you absolutely have to start. So do the internal work first, build your confidence up, understand that there's no rules to this. There's literally, you can do whatever it is that you want, like truly, like that's all I gotta say, man.
Hey, that's perfect, because it makes absolute sense. Like I think the metaphor with like the fuel and the belief, like absolutely. Like someone that starts
Yeah,
with no belief will have a hard time driving the car. Like will have a hard time.
exactly.
Like someone else will have to fuel it for you, if that makes sense. There are some really
Yeah,
talented individuals that maybe don't have that self belief, but always have someone there being good, keep doing it, and that's
yeah, yeah. It's important to have cheerleaders too. Just surrounding yourself by good people, because I feel like energy is very fluid. So the people you surround yourself by, like I feel like it very much has an effect on how you view the world and yourself. So I just who the right people is very crucial to all of this as well.
absolutely.
So yeah.
And but I think that was great. Thank you so much for taking the time once again. Okay, so I'm just gonna in logistical side for like the auctions. I have a few auctions lined up. So
Yeah.
you can tell me a moment where like you think that it would be the best time for like your page and your promotional aspects and whatever thing that goes into to kind of have Pièce Unique go on and do the auction. But I have a few weeks lined up, so you have the time to
Oh,
tell me
that's
when you
yeah.
want.
That's very perfect, because I wanted to like kind of let this drop roll out, since it is kind of the same. Like I don't want to divert people's attention
Hmm.
away from the original. So
Hmm.
trust that like I'm very patient. Like this can happen whenever it's
Perfect.
cool for you, and
And
like
you tell me, like,
whenever like
I do these interviews, I classify them, I have a whole list of people, and I'm enjoying this. Like, honestly, I'm really having a great time, like, talking to people and getting to meet individuals from all over.
dude, when I saw your page and you followed me, like I just I feel like I just have a good read on just people. And I just knew like I've never once like reached out to somebody and asked to be interviewed. Like usually my interviews so far have just been people coming to me and saying like, yo, like can we do an interview? But like I was like, I can totally toss ego aside, because there's some people who want to
I
be like, oh
appreciate that.
yeah, like they just came to me, like whatever. But I was like, nah, like I really like what you're doing. Like I had to reach out. I was like, I want to be interviewed on this thing, because I just saw like how it would. I just saw the future. I feel like I just knew it would progress into something really dope, and
That
I just
means
had a lot of respect for what you're doing.
I
Yeah,
feel
and just like your energy.
I feel
Yeah.
like what you're doing, what you're saying to me right now, is what that guy told you in that store in Brooklyn. Like it's
Oh really?
you
Oh
so
yeah,
funny.
you're having that moment. That's amazing, bro. Like I just saw that. Like especially just how you are, like how you just were presented, like off camera. Like initially, I was like, it was admirable, because I was like, bro, like I'm trying to build that comfort too. And I just thought it was amazing with the artists you worked with. I think the one that I watched was, I forgot her name. It's a shame. Like I feel bad, but she
Luna.
had like bad anxiety.
Oh yeah, yeah, Ivy, Ivy.
Yeah, I felt like you just handled that so well too. And I was just like, I was just like, oh, like I like this guy. Like this guy, like I feel you can actually just have a conversation, like even just outside of interviews. Like
I
you're just dope. I just love what you're doing too. Like with
yeah,
what you're doing for artists, like how could you not want to be on board with that? So I'm like genuinely honored to like
that's
be a
real love.
part of this
That's real love,
journey, like
honestly.
for real. So yeah, I got your shirt for you too.
Hey,
I'm gonna ask. Yeah, send me your address. Like they're coming in mad early, so
perfect.
just
I
send me your
appreciate
address.
you.
And I already got. Yeah, I got your name from when I was waiting on the Zoom. So I was like, dude, I gotta ask this dude's name. Yeah, because you don't have it on the page, but
No,
I got it down. So yeah.
Bryn, thank you so much for the time that you took. Honestly, you're really talented artist, and I can't wait to see where the brand goes. And you too.
Thank you, Diego. Really appreciate that, and thanks again for interviewing me. And I'm glad you're feeling better.
I am.
Because yeah.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to apologize for like all the time misunderstandings.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. I just started recovering too. Like I had a sinus infection, like offside, like I was smoking and I gave myself bronchitis. I got COVID tested twice, like it was negative, like because I was already like halfway vaccinated. And when we were supposed to have our call, like the day before that, I got my second vaccine shot. So like it was actually perfect that I mean, sorry that you're sick, but like in terms of scheduling, like I was recovering myself.
So it worked out perfectly. There we go.
Yeah, it worked out so perfectly.
Wonderful. All right, in that case,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you on that beautiful note. Bryn, have a great day. Take care of yourself,
Yeah,
and
you too.
we speak soon. Okay?
Yeah, most definitely. I appreciate you.
Take care.
Peace.
Bye bye.